Hi, I'm Mary, a librarian and book reviewer with a focus on stories written for kids, tweens, and teens. Today, I get to share with you this book called The Takeover Friend, written by Carol Dines. This is the story of a girl named Frances who has, for most of her life, had one best friend who turned out to be not as good of a friend as she initially appeared. And when Frances is going into ninth grade, this friend has moved on, and Frances is kind of all alone. Lucky for her, there's a new student named Sonia who's come to town, and she and Frances hit it off right away. Frances is delighted to have a brand new best friend, and Sonia fits in really well with Frances's family. She comes over all the time. She's connecting with Frances's dad, which is especially nice because Frances's dad sometimes is not the easiest to get along with. But after a while, there's some things that start to happen that make Frances wonder if Sonia is exactly who she thinks she is at the beginning. So, as the story goes on, Frances starts putting the clues together to figure out who Sonia really is and what her intentions truly are. This story is a realistic fiction novel that is written for high school students, especially ones who are going into ninth grade, who are kind of struggling with who they are as people and then who they might want to be friends with as they go into high school. So this is a time when childhood friendships sometimes fall apart because everyone's kind of figuring out who they are and that it might not necessarily be in alignment with those people that they used to be friends with. And this takes a little bit of a dark turn as you go on. Sonia, even as I was reading it, I was like, oh, Sonia, like she's not necessarily always a person that I would choose to be with, even though at the beginning, you're giggling along with the girls as they get to know each other. So the writing in here is excellent. It really comes across like Frances is filling out a journal entry. So there's a lot of her feelings that go into it, even if she doesn't always express them out loud. But there's also a lot of dialogue, and every character in here has a really strong personality, and you get to know them really well. So you know who you want to spend time with, who you don't. You cringe when things happen, choices that are made that you might remember from your own time in high school as well. And because it is for an older audience, there's a lot of close printed text in here, although the chapters themselves are often very short. So it covers the span of about an entire school year as Frances and Sonia get to know one another. And there are occasions in here where you talk about mental illness in a lot of different capacities, what families look like from one to another, how jealousy plays into one family's version of what is perfection, and how all of that wraps up in the challenges that are inherent to high school anyway. So this is an interesting coming of age story for high school readers, and if this sounds like a great fit for you, I hope you look for it at your favorite bookstore.